the Constitution and freedom is the very, very, very most highest valuable component to the fabric of our American society. Now we're going to start this video out by saying all constitutional rights invoked, none waived. We're at the beautiful downtown Sandra O'Day Federal Building. Okay, and we're going to get into a myriad of different topics right now. Okay, this is going to be part one. Okay. All right, you hear the protesters in the back. All right, the first thing I want to talk about today is the cover-up. The cover-up of my attempted murder, okay, and the cover-up of the murder of Moses McCormick, my brother, all right? And I want to talk about a specific situation that was a derivative of that cover-up, okay? It was a derivative of that cover-up, and it was a campaign that was put intentionally out against me to make me look crazy. Okay, there was a few different people that was recruited to participate in this cover-up. We're going to talk about one of the star players in the cover-up and why that person was a star player. Okay, one of the star players in the cover-up was my sister Susan McCormick. Why was she used? Why was she used? Because she would be deemed as credible to the public. Okay, and she would be deemed as somebody that would be credible to speak against me. Okay, all right, now let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the narrative to make me look crazy and the narrative to make me look like I was doing this for money, doing the GoFundMe for money or bringing awareness to the murder for money. Okay, Susan was used to tell the public that I was doing a GoFundMe just for money. First, she tried to report to GoFundMe that it was fraudulent activity, which they had already had all of the information and they knew that that was not right. So they couldn't get the GoFundMe shut down. The GoFundMe is actually still going, but the GoFundMe has been suppressed. It has been suppressed by the bad guys. I don't know if they put pressure on GoFundMe. I don't know how they did it, but they definitely did, and they had it froze at 574 shares for the last few months. Okay, so they used their connections to mess that up. Okay, now we're going to get back on target here. Susan McCormick was used, but initially when my brother was initially around the time that he died, she wasn't being malicious towards me. She was trying to lure me to Ohio. Now we had information. We had first-hand information that I was to be lured to Ohio, okay, lured to Ohio, stopped in a traffic stop, taken to jail, and killed. Let me say that again. Stopped during a traffic stop once I got to Ohio, apprehended, taken to jail, okay, on what would be some type of false charge, and then killed in that jail and alleged that it was due to COVID-19. That's the plan that they had, all right? That's the plan that they had. It was similar to how when Dr. Sebi was traveling and he went to jail and he died in there. Okay, so they tried to use that on me, which I wasn't dumb because I already had the knowledge. So I knew not to go into Ohio and I knew to stay the hell out of there. Okay, because I already had the information and my team advised not to go. Okay, so I didn't go. I refrained from going. All right. Next, when I failed to go to Ohio, then that's when she started getting aggressive. Okay, she started getting very aggressive. All right. And she started constantly questioning me like, why are you not coming here? We need you here. I'm going to do the plane tickets. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, it was very aggressive and unnatural for her, because she doesn't generally give a damn about me. She doesn't give a damn about me. We didn't ever have a relationship like that. So it was very phony. Okay. It was very, very phony. So moving right along, what she was then recruited to do, once that was unsuccessful, she was recruited to try to convince the public that I was doing the GoFundMe for money. Now, for everybody who's been following this story from day one, you know that Moses went through quite a bit of hell, and it's all recorded on this channel. And that's because he was a targeted individual. He was a targeted individual, okay? Just like I am. I'm a targeted individual. Now, what she has done is she tried to get in and somehow convince people that none of those things happened. And, you know, and also Marcel and Fuji played their role in it too, and they tried to get on video and convince people that, oh, it was all in, Mark's just doing that for money, and, you know, to speak against me, because these are paid agents. Okay, they have parents that work for the state. Okay, they have parents that work for the state of Ohio. They have jobs, parents that work for the state of Ohio. They have state affiliations, so they have to take orders. Okay, if they want to continue to get their sweet little paychecks, they have to do as they're told. So so they participated intentionally, so they are an accessory to federal crime. And under Title 18, since there was a death and attempted murder, they can all be tried and be given life in prison, okay, which we're going to shoot for. We're going to shoot for all that, okay? But we're going to keep this focus right here on Susan McCormick for this video, my sister Susan McCormick, and XCD Realty Property Management Company. Okay, now just to update you guys on what's going on now is Susan McCormick has gotten with XCD Property Management Company and Realty, which is the company that rented me out my house, okay, that I was staying in for a couple years. Now, what she has done is she has gotten with these people under the direction of the same rogue officials, and she has put together a narrative that I don't pay my rent, and that I haven't been paying rent the whole time during the pandemic, and that I was trying to start a GoFundMe in order to use those proceeds to pay rent. Okay, which that was totally false. She knew that was false, and XCD Realty knew that was false, but they tried to play along with it, and they got themselves in trouble. And we're going to explain how and why and where things are right now. Okay, I'm trying to move as fast as I can because I don't want this video to be all drawn out. Now, XCD Realty and Property Management Company, they played their role in this, and they got caught. Okay, they tried to go down to the eviction court. All right, they tried to go down to the Dreamy Draw Justice Eviction Court and have me evicted from my home, alleging that I haven't paid rent, and that I haven't paid rent since August, and you know, that sort of thing. What they have done is they put together a rigged up contract with an electronic signature on it, alleging to be my signature, and passing it off as an increase in my rent from the regular contract. So my regular rental contract stated one amount, but this new contract that they put together electronically on the computer and said that it was signed electronically by me, they increased the amount in order to eat up the money that I had in their account. Now, I had a large reserve amount of money in that account that my rent was feeding off of, okay? And this was long. I have been paying them like that long before any GoFundMe. They didn't get any proceeds from a GoFundMe. That was all false. Now, here's what they did. They went down to the Dreamy Draw Justice Court, and they filed an eviction, and they tried to get a writ of restitution to have the sheriff come and put me out, alleging that I owed them $5,679, okay? Which was all totally false, totally false. Now, what has happened as a result is the court did their own investigation. The court did their own investigation. The courts looked at the documents and the evidence that I had to support my side of the story, and their writ of restitution was denied. Okay, their writ of restitution was denied November 16th, and they was caught doing fraud. All right. Now, what has happened in reverse of that is I contacted their office numerous occasions and requested them to give me an explanation why they were communicating with Susan McCormick, my sister, out of Ohio. They would not give me an explanation. They gave me the runaround. They said they was going to give me a letter stating that she was harassing them. Okay? Stating that she was harassing them. I never received that letter. Okay? I never received that letter. Once they got caught, once I caught them in all of this and foiled this whole plan, they backpedaled and they alleged that Susan McCormick was harassing them. So they flipped on her. They flipped on her, and they were alleging that she was harassing them and that they never gave her any information about any of my accounts or anything like that, which is totally false. Which is totally false, okay? And I'm going to read the letter that I wrote to them to let them know that I'm not having it, okay? But before I read that letter, let's just continue on. So what they have done is they have gotten themselves in the middle of this situation, okay? And so they're going to be components of a RICO, federal RICO criminal action. Why? Because they intentionally got with Susan and tried to make the narrative of me starting a GoFundMe for money for rent. They tried to force that to be real, okay? They tried to force that to be real, and they had Marcel on standby ready to make a video and upload it on his YouTube channel and showing all of that, showing all of the court things and everything. They were all ready. Now, what he did was he had a advertisement saying, oh, there's a new video coming out with new evidence and this and that. And that video never came out. Why? Because they got caught. All right, they got caught. Okay, now, this is the letter that I wrote to XCD Realty Company, okay, to one of their agents that was in communication with Susan McCormick. I said, hello, Trish. I'm sending this email to let you know the Dreamy Draw Justice Court denied your writ of restitution for eviction on November 16, 2021. We all know why. I intend to prosecute both on civil level and on a criminal level for all the injustices and undue burdens placed upon me by your company, their representatives, partners, and associates. You all have planned the eviction action in advance, and you partnered up with Susan McCormick, who resides in Ohio, to try to sabotage my name and to air out my business dealings with you all unlawfully as a part of an attempt to make me look broke, crazy, and irresponsible, to discredit me in the pursuit of justice for the murder of my brother Moses McCormick. The information that you all provided to Susan McCormick regarding my account was plastered all over Facebook and YouTube, and I have been publicly accused of starting a GoFundMe account to get money to pay rent, which is totally false and unfair. I have never used any such funds to make rent payments to you all. What you guys have done to me was pure evil. After a thorough investigation, the courts understand what you all have done. Anthony Masiello was wrong for filing those erroneous fraudulent statements and documents with the courts. Additionally, you all have also got Judge Lorona in trouble for assisting you with the said acts. I want to say that you have been very cooperative since then, Trish. In light of your cooperation, I want to further request that you provide to me everyone who contacted you in regards to my account, me, and particularly any law enforcement, lawyers, or any people from Ohio. Sean has been cooperative in providing me statements via text claiming that Susan M. McCormick was harassing your office, which I don't completely believe. I have requested numerous times for you all to provide to me a statement formally stating that she's been harassing you all. I have yet to receive any of the such. I'm also contacting you to formally advise that all utilities and services in connection with Mark Anthony McCormick and his business partners or representatives should have been stopped as the date of move out, because I moved out of there because they was trying this whole scheme, okay? The activity that you all have done qualifies you and your business to be prosecuted both criminally and civil under the RICO law for violating 2 or more predicate acts in connection with a federal crime. You all may not be educated on that, but I'm sure an experienced RICO attorney can assure you that you violated the statutes and predicate acts. I have requested in my lawsuit $400,000 plus punitive damages as a deterrent and a trial by jury. I am willing to walk away from some of the action, but there are 2 things my team and I will need from you. First, we will need to prosecute Susan M. McCormick for harassment. We will need you to prosecute her for harassment. If you sent you alleging that she was harassing you, well, we want to see you prosecute her, because we know you on some bullshit and we know you're lying. You was working with her to make that narrative real and you got busted, and now you want to flip on her and change it on her and say she was harassing you, okay? So we want to see you prosecute her. Since she was harassing you, we're going to be wanting to see prosecution for that, okay? Okay, and what we will also need is you to make me financially whole again from the acts you committed towards me in regards to the breach of contract, erroneous charging of tax, and for lying to the courts. Per the civil record in Maricopa Superior Court, you all have not obtained counsel as of yet. Please advise. So they didn't get their attorney. I sued them on November the 4th and filed a lawsuit against them November the 4th for their participation in this whole thing, okay? They got caught, and what they did was they tried to roll over on Susan, okay? Now, I'm going to show you guys Susan's text messages to me. I'm going to put a video, a screen capture, and it has a lot, not all, but a lot of her text messages, okay? And also, it has a lot of XCD Realty's text messages to me telling me, well, no, we didn't give your sister, we didn't tell your sister anything. We didn't give her any information. She was harassing us. You did give her information, because the little eviction plot that you tried to come up with and the little scheme you pulled, you got caught. And then you tried to flip over on her and make it seem like she was harassing you when you partnered up with her to make this narrative like I'm starting a GoFundMe to pay you money, okay? Which was totally false. And they will testify in court that they have never received any proceeds from a GoFundMe. They will testify that in court, because those are facts, okay? They were always paid in full. Now, where we are now, the next thing we're going to talk about is the court case in the Superior Court. They filed their answer on November 23rd. They filed an answer, and they're not represented by an attorney, okay? All right. So we're pursuing action. We're going to pursue the action against them for that, okay? Because they got caught, and shame on them for trying to roll over on her. Like I said, it's going to be a lot of people that's going to be rolling over, because nobody's going to have no loyalty to you, because they're not going to want to sit in jail. They're not going to have loyalty to you because they're not going to sit in jail away from their kids for you. They're going to tell on your ass. So now they're alleging that she was harassing, which we feel was totally false. They were working together, okay? They were working together because their actions match up with the false allegations that she made, saying that I was being evicted and all of this stuff way back 6 months ago, okay? Way back, actually 10 months ago. Okay, so they're in trouble, and they got that Judge Larona in trouble because he tried to prevent my evidence from going on the docket. He tried to prevent my evidence from going on the record, and what they did was they put me in a position where I would have had to pay them $5,679 to stay in my house. So I decided to leave on my own authority. They then doubled down. They then doubled down on it And they tried to they filed for a writ of restitution from the courts to have the sheriff come there to put me out. They couldn't get that because by that time the court had my evidence. So they was able to look at my evidence, and they was able to determine and understand what these XCD Realty people have done. Okay, and apparently they have done this to a number of different people. All right, so they got caught. Okay, now since I'm done talking about all that, we know XCD Realty got caught, and we know they partnered up with Susan McCormick. Susan McCormick then sent me threatening text messages, which I'm going to put all that in the part 2 of this video. All of that is going to be in part 2. Okay, and you guys will be able to put the video on pause and read all the text messages. Everything written in green in these text messages is my words. Everything written in green is my words. Everything that's gray is her threats. And all you can see is me telling her, stop texting me, stop. She went on for 4 hours. I also provided emails showing the months, how many months she's been sending me emails, okay? Emails, harassing emails, okay? So all of that is going to be provided in part 2 of the video. Also, what's going to be provided in part 2 of the video is the text messages I received from XCD Realty and Property Management alleging that she was harassing their office, okay? I also will be providing the text messages that show me requesting from them a statement stating that she was harassing them, and they failed to give it to me. I was waiting for that statement for over a month. They wasn't giving it to me because that was not true. But once they got caught, they said, oh, she was harassing us. She had been harassing our office for a while. No, she has been working with your fucking office for quite a while, and you got caught. Why? Because y'all some amateurs. Y'all some amateurs. When you try to create a crisis for me, you try to manufacture a crisis for me, it's gonna be a lot of casualties along the way. You're gonna ruin a lot of people's lives along the way. You're gonna get a lot of people sued along the way. You're gonna get a lot of people's legacy turned upside down along the way. Why? Because you don't know who you fucking with, okay? You're learning. Now let's get further into this. Okay. We also know that these rogue officials in Ohio that Susan was working for also was working with my mother and recruited my mother to reach out to me here recently. She reached out to me here recently, and I haven't talked to her all year because she's cut off. She's cut off, okay? She's cut off. For her participation in that cover-up, she's cut off, all right? For her knowing what truly happened to me in Florida, she's cut off. I will never talk to her for the rest of my life, and I don't speak out of anger, and I make good on what I say I'm gonna do. And trust me and believe me, I'll never talk to her again. She allowed that cover story to fly with Moses. She's not my mother. She's no mother of mine. So getting right back on topic, the next thing I want to talk about is the sorority and the fraternity and sorority members of my family. The sorority and fraternity members, this message is for y'all. We know who all of y'all are, and we know what you were told to do. We know what you were told to do. We're not going to come down hard on all of you, but it's going to be, you're going to get the hammer down on you if you are not cooperative. And regardless of what your little masters are telling you, that, oh, you don't have this to worry about, we'll see. We'll see if you get rolled over on like XCD Realty has rolled over on Susan. Okay? Now, what I also want to talk about is my Aunt Mary. Okay? My Aunt Mary, she lives in Ohio. My Aunt Mary is white, and she lives in Ohio. And she contacted me, and the people around her, you know, I'm not going to say the female's name. She know who she is. I'm going to let her live because I know she just had a lot of pressure put on her, and I'm not going to put her name out there like that. But you know who you are, the one that was around Aunt Mary. And I want to say this to you. Aunt Mary's phone call, it got to me. I know you guys took her phone. Okay, we know you took her phone, but she was able to successfully get that phone call and that message to me. She told me that they told her, that you guys told her that I died. Okay, she told me that you guys told her that I died already. Okay, she was very upset and very furious. Okay, she was very upset and she was very furious. And as a matter of fact, 3 days ago, I had a dream about her. And she came to me in a dream and she told me that she remembered when my dad brought me home from the hospital when I was born. And she just kissed me and told me to be brave. But I want to talk about her for a second because she left me a voicemail. She left me a voicemail, and I have that voicemail. She left me a voicemail and she stated that you all told her that I died. Why did you all tell her that I died? Because I was supposed to die. Okay, that was the plan, and the plan didn't hatch out. Okay, so that's evidence that you knew about the premeditated murder. Okay, but we're gonna want some participation out of you. Otherwise, you're gonna go to prison under Title 18 as an accessory to attempted murder, and you're not gonna see the light of day. I don't give a damn what your masters is telling you. I don't give a damn. I wouldn't give a damn if Joe Biden himself told you ain't had nothing to worry about. Your ass gonna go to jail. Okay? Because you don't know the force and the power, the real ethereal power. You don't know nothing about that. You don't know what you're playing with. Okay? But we're gonna teach you, and we're gonna be going into this here federal building at the conclusion of this video to take care of some business. Okay? Now let's get right back on target. Aunt Mary, her message, her phone calls got to me successfully. Successfully. So that's the evidence that proves. That's the evidence that proves that you knew. You all knew. And we know all the people who knew about it. We know it. Okay? Moving right along. We also know that about the new plot. We also know about your new plot. The new plot that's supposed to be bringing harm to me by December 19th. We know about that too. Yes, we know about that. Okay? It's not gonna happen in your wildest fucking dreams. Okay? Alright? Now let's quickly talk about the process of how they kill people. Okay, how it's set up. Stage 1. This is the process of organized murder. This is how it's done. Just for you guys that don't have an education on it. Just for you guys who think everything is a conspiracy theory, I'm going to show you the stages. The first stage, stage 1, is to find any and all close relatives that are in a fraternity or sorority and put them on duty to manipulate the target. Stage 2. Isolate the target from all possible people who would be loyal to them. Stage 3. Monitor the target and sabotage any and all streams of their income. Stage 4. Discredit the target by convincing everyone that they have mental health problems. Stage 5. Eliminate target and use a cover story to convince the public and the non-suspecting family members and friends that the death was due to cancer, heart attack, AIDS, stroke, or COVID-19. Okay? You tried it. You fucking tried it. We're not having no mercy. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be uploading. The next video will be called Codes with a K. K-O-D-E-S, not C-O-D-E-S, K-O-D-E-S. It's going to be called Codes, and this is what we're going to be doing in that next video. We're going to be providing to you guys all the people who participated in this. We're going to be providing to you guys a secured email address. We're going to have you create a code, a 3 to 5 digit code that consists of numbers, letters, characters, whatever. You can make the code however you like. Okay? You're going to send us an email. And the subject line of that email is going to be your personal code. You're not going to tell us your name, any of that. We don't need to know. But this is what you will do. You're going to put your level of participation, and you're going to put what you know and who you know was involved. Okay? Now, when we apprehend you, for the ones that we apprehend, we will check through that email and those records, and we will look for the code. Once you are apprehended, the only way that you will be set free from Title 18, the only way that you will be able to escape by not getting life in prison is if you can give us a code. That code that you give us should match the code that you provided in the email. Okay? So we will know that you sent that email. The only person that's going to know that code on this planet Earth is you. Okay? You're going to be the only person that knows that code. All right? Once we apprehend you, we're going to ask you, do you have a code to give us? If you don't have a code to give us, that means you never sent us an email and you never gave us any information. So your ass is going to be considered wiped. Come? Your ass is going to be out. You're not going to get a 5K1. Okay? You're not going to get any of that. You're going to go down. And you're never going to see the light of the day. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to send an email using that code on the subject line. And you're going to tell us everything you know. You're going to tell us every fucking thing you know. And what will that email do? It'll sit in our inbox. So once you're apprehended, once we apprehend all of the people that we know we're going to get, the ones that we got already, we're going to ask, do you have a code? Okay? And we're going to look through all those emails to see if any of the code that you gave us match any of those codes that was received. And if it does, you'll get some leniency. But the information that's provided have to be enough information